This audio CD brings you soft skills training that may help you with your students, getting them through Apex. I'm working with Francois Savain, an able instructor who helped me produce this teacher CD to give teachers that missing element, which is the teacher's script. He and I went through a one-day training seminar in November 2010. We then spent about 4 months getting 400 students through at least a half credit of various courses. In our training, we realized that the training really didn't teach the soft skills about how to guide students through their obstacles. Some of the reports in Apex are tricky to find, and that's certainly part of learning how to use Apex. But I noticed how Savain changed the way he talked to certain students, and I realized that by observing him, I could improve my method. I observed how he pressed on some students and then was casual in his guidance on other students. We've come up with a list of strategies or interventions when there's an issue, there's an intervention, and there's an expected result. Savain's time management sheet is critical with helping students guide their way through Apex. This system is based on what Savain and I have observed, that what works with getting a variety of students through Apex varies. And it's a question of matching the personality and learning style of the student with some sort of configuration of Apex. For some students, it might be more discussions. Others, they want to do more group projects. Others want to have an individual project, maybe to get through some section that is particularly poorly written in Apex. There is some flexibility in the programming and use of Apex, which I'm sure you have found in your work as a teacher. This CD is for people who are experienced in using Apex and also for those who are using it for their first time. If you have not worked with Apex before, there are some annoying things and there are some positive aspects of the program that help students prepare for multiple choice tests. Using the adaptations that Savain, I, and others have used, such as Matt Blazek's ebook on projects, you as a teacher can become an effective guide on the side. Your work as a teacher is vital in our country's effort to prepare students for the global economy. My website, guideontheside.com, lays out the elements of what schools could offer. The school of the future could be here today, especially with the flexible curriculum that can be worked with imagination when using something like Apex. Teachers who use the attitude of, we pick our battles, that approach is part of the school of the future that I'm aiming to describe in my website. Now, the key strategy. Savain has this special way of talking with graphs. Some students are under the impression that they can sit with Apex open on the screen for 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, and they'll get credit for 20 hours of work. A short visit to the section of Apex that displays a bar graph showing the number of pages visited and the amount of time split between instruction and testing, that usually helps students see that, oh, they're watching me. The talk with graphs is a guided tour of the system showing what the system has recorded. Using that talk with graphs is sometimes an effective intervention. For example, the issue might be that the student is listening to music and he gets about 1 hour of work done in 5 days. The intervention is use the talk with graphs. The result is that some students don't realize that their use of time is recorded in Apex. They sometimes respond by actually starting to read the website and the Apex material after seeing that their choice in how they use their time and their actions have consequences. So just the mere fact of sitting down with a student and showing him or her how the system is recording, sometimes that's needed on an individual basis, even though many orientation classes that are given, or either that aspect is forgotten by students. They just figure, I'm here for 20 hours a week. Why aren't I getting credit? I showed up, and this is a question of being a guide on the side for the student. Issue number 2. A student ignores 2 or more subjects, deciding to study with just one subject. So you get this sort of imbalanced look. I mean, this works okay for 1 or 2 weeks, but after about 3 weeks, they're not making any progress on 2 of the subjects. So what do? Our intervention is use the time management sheet. The result is that many students like the structure of planning out their work on the time management sheet. What happens is that since there's space on the sheet for projects, the students start thinking about doing more than just reading a computer screen and clicking through tests. They can fill in their calendar by saying, okay, I want to do a project here, I want to have a discussion here. Who wants to have a discussion? And start taking responsibility for building their own curriculum. Issue 3. A student wanders in late every day. So what kind of interventions can we use? Well, I've seen Savain tried several different things. First, he might check in to find out what the issue is really. Is the kid not getting enough food in the morning? Perhaps they can't sleep because there's some sort of disturbance in the neighborhood. We want to deal with the issue behind the issue. If there's just laziness involved, the teacher might make a comment about, well, the early bird gets the worm, and see what the student says. And it might be a gradual process where you just sort of point out that there are positive consequences to showing up on time. And then the talk with the graphs can help focus the student on the need for putting more work in per day. And showing up early enough is a good idea. The result is that some students don't realize that showing up for just 2 hours a day means fewer credits, or fewer points for them. Hey, I've been here every day this week. What are you on my back for? Well, it'll take you 6 years to get through high school if you keep this up. I'm here to support you. Now, Savain has some great language that addresses that issue, and sometimes listening to him intervene makes it more inspiring for me as a teacher.